before I get going, I have the privilege of taking you guys to visit all the exhibitors and sponsors, so that's a really good thing. But before I go, I want to first thank Jeff and the MX West organizing team. Let's give them and yourselves a round of applause, please. That's also my way to give you guys a free high. If you don't know, clapping your hands releases endorphins, give you a nice mood and all that stuff, so you're welcome. So I'm going to talk about resistance to results, and you'll hear a lot of things that you heard earlier today, some common themes, going to repeat themselves, so hopefully that'll make them stick to it. So I'm going to try to keep it real and really let you guys know what the journey really feels like, and not really a lot of buzzwords. So as you can see on the screen, this is kind of our large scope, what we're trying to do with our MES. It's one of those weird things, manufacturing execution system. People always say it's manufacturing execution system, but it's MES. Kind of weird thing to say. This is something that I developed. It's called strategy. It's when culture, tactical execution, and strategy collide. When you get those three aligned, you hit a bullseye, and that's when you can get uncommon results. So more about that later if you want to go hit me up and I can talk about it. So why do MES strategy? Why do that? So anyone in here ever done a digital transformation? Raise your hand, please. Mostly everybody. I'll be asking you some more questions here in a second about that. But why do it? We had a lot of reasons. One, we wanted to protect our IP protocol. That's what we do today. We have a lot of paper. We send that paper off to a warehouse storage. We spend about $10,000 a month just in one site. That's one big reason for me. But there are other reasons too, for quality, consistency, and all of our processes. So it's a lot there. So one, I'm going to talk about some of the barriers to change. And I'm going to take another straw poll here. And I've identified three kind of areas that I want to go into and get your opinions on. For those of you who've done digital transformations, you'll know these. So raise your hand if you saw barriers to change related to the finance team. Okay, that's surprising. How about from the leadership alignment? You know, those guys don't know what you're doing. They just like, our gals. And what about the shop floor? So if you're experienced, which of those three was the biggest hurdle? Just yell it out. Shop floor. Why so? Okay, culture change. What other reasons why anybody says that was a tough one? No one asked me. Right. You can come down like a ton of bricks. So we'll get into that here in a second as I get to some of the turning points. So we said finding champions in unlikely places, and you kind of do that. Yeah, we did that too. But what really happened is in the middle of our execution, our project lead went on paternity leave. So we had to get the next person up. And people were just saying, no, we don't want to do this, we can't do this, it doesn't make sense for us. We like the old way, we like doing paper, we don't get the bill, that's your problem for the story. So that wasn't a problem. So what we had to do is we had to burn the boats. You might have heard that expression before? We had to say there's no options. We're going to execute this, that's it. We have to get up to the 21st century. This is going to help us win, this makes us more secure. And the real story is we were giving employees a transferable skill that wasn't just tied into pushing this button to make this widget. It was something you can take anywhere, just like continual improvement. And that was not just our selling point, but that was really the convincing point for the team. That was a real turning point. The dashboards and those things, that was good too. But what really hit home is we were able to take videos of successful operations within our network and show them what good looks like, to show them what success looks like. And that was a true win, a true story. That was a true where we started winning the hearts and minds of our people. That was really key for us. Now you can see here, this sign says impactful results. How many colors do you guys see on the screen? Somebody tell me. Well, I'm colorblind, so I only see one, just so you know. So I'll just point out just one block that's really important to me. And that's the fact that, well, two blocks. So you heard this earlier, but data became a teammate for us and not just something we looked at. We use the data vendors and sponsors. Give them another hand. You're only two. We get those later when we get to the drink portion. But the one takeaway, I won't just read this down, but leading with empathy, not just efficiency. As you all said, the biggest hurdle was the people. We can convince the finance folks. We can show the ROI, and they can get that. You know, it's a numbers game. We can convince the leadership. Again, you're winning. They're getting business. We're retaining the customers. They get that. But you really have to let people know why it matters to them, and you really have to feel that. It can't be lip service. You can't fake compassion. It's got to be real, so they can resonate with that. And so, and this is something else you heard earlier as well. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. So in my strategical model, there's no dominant piece of that. But if you don't have the right culture, nothing else works. It's like a house of cards. So I'm gonna give y'all a call to action that you can take with the chain and across your peer group. Walk. Go to the places where you want to make the improvements, where the digital is going to touch everybody. You gotta go there. People mentioned Gimba earlier. I like throwing around buzzwords too, so Gimba, go to the spot. And the final one is do. Do something. Even if it's a small step, and as you can see, and as Jeff mentioned out on a lot of miles, that's about 102 million steps that I've taken like this. So, but do something. Even if it's a small step and implemental, that's how you make success. So that's what I'm gonna leave with you guys. So now you can go visit the vendors, then we'll get a closing message, and then we'll go to cocktails. You're welcome.
Shirley, so I don't know how you did this. We already responded to some of the questions in there. But I'll ask them because I think other people may want to know, and we'll give a chance to enter your questions in here. So looking back at the lessons learned, what's the one thing that you would have done differently to make the implementation smoother or faster?
Yeah, so right up front, I would have made sure that I showed the shop floor employees, the most vested interest, what good looks like. By taking them to, literally taking them to where they could see it in action. Not showing videos, not showing YouTube clips, but actually taking them where they could actually feel it, taste it, and talk to people that have the same issues and concerns with them to see what the pain points.
Or leadership structures were critical to keeping the MES project on time, on budget, and delivering value.
So one, I'll say that it wasn't on time. It did stay on budget, but we had two. So we did a global steering team that met monthly as part of the steering team. And then we had a local team that met every week to kind of stay on track.
Which metrics did you find skeptics cared about most?
The ROI. Because again, it was the finance were the biggest skeptics because we're spending money on this digitalization. What are we going to get for that? So from my standpoint, my biggest pushback was you got to play the long game. I heard that earlier as well. You know, if you're looking at the short term, you're never going to do a lot of the digital transformation that you guys want to do because the money is not going to be there. But when you play the long game, and that's what I kind of insinuated, is that's where you're going to get the benefit. You get the empowerment, you build that right culture, and it's going to feed into other things you want to do.
All right. Once again, Barry, thank you.